Hello everyone! As we all know, Mobile Legends recently welcomed a newcomer to the Land of Dawn, Marcel. Despite being released just a few weeks ago, this hero has already managed to capture the attention of many players. And it's not without reason. Marcel is equipped with mechanics that are incredibly annoying for the opposition. From his passive effect that can deliver a stun to nearby enemies, to his ultimate that covers a massive area with an exceptionally long freeze duration. Because of these unique traits, Marcel has become a top priority, and is frequently picked in the MPL competitive scene as a roam support. The pro players have proven that this hero isn't just your average support, but a secret weapon for controlling the flow of any team fight. So, in today's video, we are going to do a deep dive into everything about Marcel, starting from his passive and skills, the item build recommendations used by pro players, all the way to the most effective playstyle in the current meta. So, how do you master this hero so you can completely wreak havoc on the enemy lanes? Without further ado, let's jump straight into the breakdown. Let's go. Skill and passive breakdown. Passive. Platinum Snap. This is the core of Marcel's durability. Marcel cannot gain critical damage, attack speed, or additional HP from items. Instead, every bit of extra HP you buy is converted into 1.5% hybrid defense. This is exactly why Marcel is so incredibly tanky, even with a high HP build. Additionally, whenever Marcel is near an enemy, his camera clemmer snaps a photo. This triggers a brief frozen moment, dealing 5% max HP true damage to the target, while granting a shield to Marcel and nearby allies. This effect has a 12-second cooldown per target, but here's the pro tip. Every basic attack from Marcel reduces that cooldown by 1 second, so stay aggressive and keep hitting. Passive. Platinum Snap. This is the core of Marcel's durability. Marcel cannot gain critical damage, attack speed, or additional HP from items. Instead, every bit of extra HP you buy is converted into 1.5% hybrid defense. This is exactly why Marcel is so incredibly tanky, even with a high HP build. Additionally, whenever Marcel is near an enemy, his camera clemmer snaps a photo. This triggers a brief frozen moment, dealing 5% max HP true damage to the target, while granting a shield to Marcel and nearby allies. This effect has a 12-second cooldown per target, but here's the pro tip. Every basic attack from Marcel reduces that cooldown by 1 second, so stay aggressive and keep hitting. Skill 1. Framed Moment. Marcel creates a focus area that slows enemies by 20%. After 2.5 seconds, snap. Enemies in the frame take physical damage and are immobilized for 1 second. This is your primary tool for lockdown and preventing enemies from escaping your team's follow-up. Skill 2. Track Shot. This is your main mobility tool. Marcel gains a massive movement speed boost, reaching up to 75% when moving toward enemy heroes. You can recast this skill to dash in a specific direction. Pro tip. If you use Track Shot while Skill 1 is casting, Clemmer stays at the original location to finish the photo. This is perfect for zoning enemies while you reposition. Ultimate. Golden Hour. This is the ultimate game changer. Marcel and Clemmer perform a wide-angle shoot for 3 seconds. Everyone in the area, friend or foe, enters a frozen moment stasis. They become invulnerable to all effects except for Marcel himself. Even long-range projectiles and bullets will stop mid-air. Most importantly, Golden Hour resets the cooldown of your Platinum Snap passive for every enemy hit. This is your go-to move for turning the tide of a team fight. Furthermore, allied heroes who possess a shield from Platinum Snap can move freely within the area. Mastering gameplay, combo and strategy. Basic combo, the crowd controller. Before we get into the big initiations, you must master Marcel's basic combo. The primary goal here is to utilize his Platinum Snap passive to deliver consistent stuns and slows to your targets. By using this combo, you're not just helping your teammates poke the enemy, but you're also maximizing shield gains for yourself and nearby allies, making your team incredibly durable during skirmishes. Here's the breakdown. Activate Skill 1 and Skill 2 almost at the same time, so the stun timing aligns perfectly with your movement speed boost. Once both are active, stick to your target to trigger the frozen moment from your passive. Try to hit as many targets as possible to maximize your shield gain. Just before Skill 1 finishes its snap, use your skill to recast to dash out, leaving the enemies stunned behind you. If it's safe, weave in some basic attacks to reset your passive cooldown. Ultimate strategy, objectives, philosophy. Now let's talk about his ultimate, Golden Hour. To be honest, this skill is a double-edged sword. If you misplace it, you could end up sabotaging your own team. But if used correctly, it's an absolute game changer. Before we get into the combos, I want to break down the objectives behind using this ultimate. Knowing when to press that button is far more important than just knowing the sequence. Here are the key strategic objectives. The first objective is covering. If your teammate gets picked off or the enemy initiates, don't just panic ultimate. Ideally, aim Golden Hour at the path where the enemy reinforcements are coming from. By freezing that path, you cut off their follow-up, making their initiation useless because they've lost their backup. But what if the enemy initiates suddenly and you aren't in position to reach their reinforcement path? In this emergency, you can cast your ultimate directly on the enemy initiator and your captured teammate. Yes, it will freeze your friend, but it's much better than doing nothing. This buys time for the rest of your team to regroup and prepare a counter setup the moment the frozen effect ends. The second objective is during Lord or Turtle contests. Use your ultimate to lock down the enemy jungler so they can't use retribution. But remember, do not let the area hit the Lord or Turtle. If the objective is frozen, your own jungler won't be able to deal damage or use retry either. Precision execution setup. Aim your Golden Hour precisely at a priority target or a cluster of enemies to lock them down. This creates a perfect window for your team, especially burst damage heroes like Beatrix or Granger to prep their skills for a guaranteed kill. However, you must ensure that your teammates are not caught in the freeze. If your allies are frozen as well, the initiation will go to waste, as they lose the crucial momentum needed to wipe out the enemy the moment the effect ends. The final objective is for tower zekking or the endgame. You can aim your ultimate inside the enemy base, or right at their spawn point to prevent them from coming out to defend. It's a risky move since you have to dive into the front line, but it's worth it to let your team focus on the base without interference. Just like before, make sure the turret or base is not frozen so your team can still hit it. You can also apply this strategy during standard laning phases to push towers and force enemies out of their defensive positions. Now let's talk about the execution. To achieve a high-impact initiation, I highly recommend combining your basic combo with your ultimate. While Marcel is flexible enough to cast his ultimate directly, leading with the basic combo ensures your initiation is far more effective and devastating. Here is the breakdown. Start by activating Skill 1 and Skill 2 almost at the same time to chase and stick to your targets. Once they are hit by the stun or slow from your basic combo and passive, immediately drop your ultimate on them. By doing this, you ensure the enemies are already CC locked before the freeze hits, leaving them with zero chance to escape. This is the most consistent way to set up a game-winning team fight. Emblem and item breakdown. Before we dive into the technical details, take a look at the data I've gathered from recent MPL matches. As you can see here, different pro players use various emblem and build setup. I've personally tested these variations one by one in high-rank matches, and I've finally found the most optimal setup to maximize Marcel's potential. To make your Marcel as effective as the professional players, I highly recommend the custom support emblem, because we need the 10% cooldown reduction, 6% movement speed, and most importantly, the 12% healing effects. This combination ensures Marcel isn't just fast, but also acts as a secondary healer for the team through his shield and roam blessing. For the talents, we'll follow the professional meta by focusing on pure mobility. Talent 1 Agility, extra movement speed for smoother rotations and better target chasing. Talent 2 Wilderness Blessing, increased speed in the jungle and river areas, which is crucial for aggressive zoning. Talent 3 Quantum Charge, every time you deal damage with a basic attack, you gain a speed boost and HP regeneration. This synergizes perfectly with Marcel's playstyle of sticking to enemies. Now let's dive into the core, the item build. To maximize Marcel's potential, we need the right sequence so that his durability and utility are felt from the very start of the early game. First, for the roam item, we go with the Favor Blessing. Every 15 seconds, your healing or shield skills will restore an additional 400 HP to the teammate with the lowest health. Since Marcel's passive naturally provides a shield, you can trigger this effect easily to keep your teammates alive. After picking up your basic boots, don't finish them immediately. Instead, rush straight toward Thunderbelt before completing your boots. Why? Because the sooner you get Thunderbelt, the earlier you can start stacking permanent defense every time you stick to an enemy. Once Thunderbelt is secured, then you can finish your rapid boots to gain that high mobility needed for instant initiations. Once your mobility and stacks are in check, move on to Oracle. This item is crucial for amplifying all shield and healing effects. This synergy becomes even more powerful when you follow it up with Flask of the Oasis. Even though it's a magic item, its effect is vital to boost the healing from your Favor Blessing and Marcel's passive shield, making your allies incredibly difficult to take down. Next, complete your utility with Dominance Ice to shut down the lifestyle and HP regun of enemies trying to play aggressively. Finally, round off the build with Guardian Helmet. Since Marcel converts HP into hybrid defense, this item provides a massive defensive surge while giving you the HP regeneration needed to stay on the field without having to recall constantly. However, you must remain adaptive on the battlefield. If the enemy team has heavy crowd control, don't hesitate to swap your boots for tough boots. If your team desperately needs anti-heal earlier, you can build Dominance Ice right after your Thunderbelt and boots are finished. And if a teammate has already bought Dominance Ice, or the enemy lacks lifesteal heroes, you can replace it with Rose Gold Meteor. This item provides an emergency shield and a speed boost when your HP is critical. Additionally, you can swap out Guardian Helmet or Rose Gold Meteor for other defensive items like Immortality or Chastise Pauldron during the late game phase. For the battle spell, my top pick is Flicker. It's essential for performing surprise initiations before the enemy can react, while also serving as your primary escape tool when things get dicey. However, if the enemy has heavy CC, you can switch to Purify. This ensures your momentum isn't stopped when you're trying to peel for your team or drop your ultimate, allowing you to fulfill your role without being interrupted. Pro Player Secrets. To kick things off, let's talk about the most common mistake people make at level 1, the skill priority. Always unlock skill 2 first at level 1. It provides the essential dash and movement speed needed to chase enemies and trigger your passive stun instantly. Taking skill 1 first is risky, as it leaves you vulnerable to enemy pokes without any mobility to escape or reposition. Laning phase adaptation. When helping your mid laner clear the first wave, use the skill 2 plus passive combo to apply instant pressure. Marcel's early game mobility is your team's greatest asset for winning the first rotation and securing control over the mid lane. Power spike and stacking. Rush Thunderbelt immediately after finishing your boots. This is key to farming permanent defensive stacks every time you stick to an enemy. The earlier you secure this item, the tankier Marcel will become as the game progresses into the late game phase. Passive shield mechanic. Keep in mind that Marcel's passive shield is stackable. The more enemy heroes you hit with your passive, the thicker the shield becomes for both you and your nearby allies. Aggression and stack management. Don't hesitate to hunt for Thunderbelt stacks by constantly harassing the enemy. However, stay disciplined and avoid being overly aggressive in the early game. At this stage, Marcel is still relatively fragile and can be easily vanished or bursted down if you are caught out of position. So that's the complete guide on how to master Marcel, the time manipulator, as a high-tier roamer. Remember, Marcel isn't just about freezing enemies, he's about controlling the flow of the game and creating the perfect environment for your team to win. By using the support emblem setup and the Favor Flask combo we discussed, you're not just playing a tank, you're becoming an untouchable utility machine. But now I want to hear from you. In your opinion, is Marcel the strongest roamer in the game right now? Or do you have an even better item build recommendation? Let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this video helped you understand Marcel's true potential, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on my next meta-analysis. Share this with your squad so they know how to follow up on your golden hour. I'm Kazuki. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.